To get started in the Drupal 6 to 7 upgrade process, first, of course, we're going to need a Drupal 6 site. You can find Drupal 6 at drupal.org, download and extend, other releases, and then you can simply scroll down and find the latest version of Drupal 6. The version you see may be later than the version that was the latest when I made this tutorial. You can also filter down to 6.x and find it that way. Then simply download the package and extract it, and you'll be ready to go. If you're unfamiliar with the Drupal installation process, check out our Drupal beginner series. That tutorial series covers the Drupal installation process. It does use Drupal 7, however, the Drupal 6 installation process is virtually identical. Feel free to name your site whatever you want. And then, once you've done that and you're ready to go, we're going to go ahead and install all the modules that our sample site will be using. One quick thing though before we do that, let's go to Administer. You can ignore this warning. This is specific to my server settings. Go to Site Configuration and Clean URLs. Let's go ahead and enable Clean URLs. This will make it a little bit easier for us to see that our path settings survived the migration from Drupal 6 to 7. If you can't enable clean URLs on your site, don't worry about it, it's not a big deal. You'll still have all your information saved when you migrate, and you'll still be able to see it all. You'll just have to kind of look past the junk at the beginning of the path on all of your URLs. So if you can, then enable clean URLs and click Save Configuration. Now we're going to begin installing our modules. My preferred method of finding any given module is simply to do a Google search for Drupal and then the module's name. In this case, we're going to start off with Chaos Tools Suite, otherwise known as CTools. And make sure you get the 6.x version. Now, if you're going through this tutorial and have never actually installed modules on a Drupal 6 site, you're going to notice that the module installation process is a little bit more involved than Drupal 7, although it's still not difficult. I'm going to download the tar.gz file. Some operating systems work a little bit better with zip, so if tar.gz doesn't quite work for you, download zip and you should be fine. I'm going to save this file directly where it's going to be on the Drupal site. Here's my Drupal directory. If you're working on a live site, this is likely going to be your public HTML folder. And we're going to find that and then go to Sites, All. And if you don't have a modules directory, create that right now. Simply type modules, all lowercase. It needs to be named this exactly. And we're going to save this in the modules directory. Now, if you are on a live site, you're going to need to simply download the file and extract it, and then upload it to your server. Let's go look at the tar.gz or zip file very quickly. Here it is. We're going to go ahead and extract this. And here's the CTools module. This folder is what you'll need to upload to the Sites All Modules directory on your site if you're working on a live server. Now we're going to go ahead and get the rest of the modules we need. We'll go ahead and download all the modules first and then extract them all together. Next, what we're going to get is token. We'll download this, make sure you get the 6.x version once again, and save it to the same place. After token, we're going to download Path Auto. Save link as, same location. Then we're going to get Drupal 6's famous Cck module. In Drupal 6, you had to have CCK if you wanted to create custom content types and custom fields. Of course, Drupal 7 comes with all that in core. We'll learn later why there is a 7.x version of this module. After CCK, we're going to download the file field module. This is a module that works with CCK to allow you to add files to a content type. Again, this is something that Drupal 7 takes care of out of the box. After file field, we're going to get image field, which you can probably guess allowed you to upload images to content in Drupal 6. Once we have image field downloaded, let's get the date module. And then the greatest Drupal module of them all, views. Then we're going to go ahead and download the administration menu module. This isn't strictly necessary for our tutorial, but most Drupal 6 sites will have this installed, so it's worth it to go through the steps of upgrading this aspect of the site as well. Also, it's going to help speed along the tutorial just a little bit, since the administration menu module speeds up Drupal workflow in general. And then last but not least, let's get panels. Now, once we've downloaded all of our modules, let's go back to the location that they've been downloaded, and we're going to go ahead and extract all of these. Let's go ahead and delete the ctools tar.gz file so we don't get confused since we've already extracted that one. I'm just going to go through these one at a time, extracting each, and removing the tar.gz file as I do so we can easily keep track of what's been extracted. So go ahead and just go through all of these one at a time, extracting each of them. And then once you're done, let's look back down at the list, and you should have admin menu, CCK, ctools, date, file field, image field, panels, path auto, token, views. Once again, if you're working on a live site or a site that's remotely hosted, you'll need to go ahead and upload all of these modules to, this will likely be public HTML, sites, all modules. That's where all of these need to be. Now that we have all of our modules installed that we're going to be using on our Drupal 6 site, we need to enable them. We're going to go to site building. This is at /admin/build, and click on modules. Now let's enable administration menu. We're going to go ahead and enable all of CCK. File field meta requires getted3, and we don't need that, so we'll skip that one and just enable all of the ones that we can enable, which is everything else. Under Chaos Tools Suite, let's get bulk export, Chaos Tools. We can skip these example modules. We'll get custom content panes, custom rule sets, page manager, stylizer, and views content panes. Under core, we're going to enable path. We'll go ahead and enable profile because many sites will have that enabled, although I don't believe we're not going to be using this explicitly in our tutorial. Search you would normally have enabled. We won't worry about that this time. The last of these we're going to need that are not already enabled is upload. We can skip the required modules because they'll all be enabled by default. For the date module, let's go ahead and get date, date API, date locale, date time zone, and date tools. Under other, we're going to get path auto, token, and token actions. Under panels, we're going to get everything except for the last one. We'll take mini panels, panel nodes, and of course panels. And for views, we'll get everything. Views, views exporter, views UI. Save your configuration. And it tells us that we need to enable the locale module to install date locale. That's something that I inadvertently left out. So go ahead and tell Drupal, yes. Please go ahead and enable locale for me. Click continue. And we're going to ignore this warning for now. And we see that our modules have been enabled.